Yes, my dear students, let's understand the last part of this demand analysis, that is price elasticity of demand. What is price elasticity of demand? We know the law of demand, which states the relationship, inverse relationship between price and demand. And we know the changes in price will bring about changes in demand. But we do not know in what quantity there will be changes in demand due to the changes in price. And there is a technique of measuring the changes in demand due to the changes in price. So, the price elasticity of demand can be defined as the measure of responsiveness of demand to the changes in price. So, how does demand change, respond, react to the changes in price? That can be known by the term price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand is calculated in terms of percentage. So the formula of price elasticity of demand is, see, PED is equal to percentage change in demand for a commodity divided by percentage change in price. Algebraically, it can be written as PED is equal to delta Q divided by delta P into P divided by Q. What does it tell? PED is equal to price elasticity of demand. Delta Q means change in quantity demanded divided by delta P, that is change in price, into P, that is the initial price of the commodity, divided by Q, the initial quantity of the demand. Say for example, if there is 5% change in price, it leads to 10% change in demand for the commodity. The percentage change is 2%, that is more than 1. So, using this formula, we can calculate price elasticity of demand. In price elasticity of demand, we have 5 classifications. They are: number 1, perfectly elastic; 2, perfectly inelastic; 3, relatively elastic; number 4, relatively inelastic; number 5, unitary elasticity. So these are the 5 forms of price elasticity of demand. Let's understand the meaning of each type of price elasticity of demand. A small change in price leads to infinite change in demand for a commodity. See, this is expressed here like this: PED is equal to infinite. In this case, see, this is the demand curve and this is price. See, whatever may be the changes, sorry, a slight change in price leads to infinite changes in Q1 and Qn. Infinite changes in demand. So in this case, how is the demand curve? The demand curve is horizontal. If the demand curve is horizontal, it shows that there is perfectly elasticity of demand. Here in this case, that is perfectly inelasticity of demand, whatever may be the changes in price, the demand does not change. See here PED is equal to 0. Say this is the demand curve, this is the demand curve, and whatever may be the change in price, so Pn, so demand remains same. So in perfectly inelasticity of demand, the demand curve is vertical. In perfectly elasticity of demand, the demand curve is horizontal. Coming to this, relatively elasticity. A, a small change in price brings about a larger change in demand. That is called relatively elasticity of demand. In this case, PED is greater than 1. This can be shown in this diagram, that is 3, diagram 3. See, price PL. So 5% change, 5% change leads to 10% change in demand. 5% change in price leads to 10% change in demand. So this is called relatively elasticity of demand. And coming to this 4, so 10% change leads to only 5% change in demand. So here what you see in the shapes of these two, this demand curve in relative elasticity, it is flattened. So 5% change leads to 10%. Here this is steeper. This is the demand curve. Demand curve is a steeper. So larger quantity of change in price leads to a smaller quantity change in demand. And coming to the unitary, that is 5. So 10% of change in price leads to 10% of change in demand. This is the demand curve. Here PED is greater than 1, PED is lesser than 1, PED is equal to 1. So PED is infinite, PED is 0. Relatively elasticity, here PED is greater than 1. Relatively inelasticity, PED is lesser than 1. And unitary elasticity, equal elasticity, that is PED is equal to 1. That's about the price elasticity of demand.